Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have the 2015 WWE Pay-Per-View Collection. This is it, guys. This year was really small compared to, prior years in the past. I think the next from like 2012 through 2015, we only had about 12 pay-per-views a year. So they did downsize a bit after, all the brand exclusive pay-per-views and whatnot. They also released two, network exclusive pay-per-views in the UK, the Beast in the East and Elimination Chamber 2015, which I don't have. I'd like to get them eventually. So let's get into this with the Royal Rumble 2015. Royal Rumble 2015 I thought was a decent event, decent Rumble, but the main event was just fantastic. Disc art, fairly good. What do we have here? This was the Rumble where Roman Reigns won the Rumble. And fans hated this compared to the year prior where they actually wanted him to win. We had a really good main event, triple threat match for the WWE title between Rollins, Lesnar, and John Cena. And also at this time, Rollins was the Money in the Bank holder. So that holds whatever. We would see the return of Bubba Ray Dudley in this Royal Rumble. And a few months later, I think it was after SummerSlam, we seen the Dudley Boys make their full return to the WWE. So this Rumble was okay, but fans absolutely hated it. I believe that was in Philly as well. Fastlane 2015, decent event again, It's hard to get into a pay-per-view when there's no world championship on the line. But we had Daniel Bryan's big return here. And he would face Roman Reigns for the #1 contendership to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. We have somewhat of a match listing here. We had John Cena versus Rusev for the US title. Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Big 6-man tag. This was after, the Authority had fired Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback. And now they're kind of earning their jobs back. I thought it was the wrong way to put Daniel Bryan in there versus Roman Reigns. Just for the fact they were trying to get Reigns over as a babyface, and this completely failed. Bad News Barrett and Dean Ambrose for the IC title was decent. And then we get to WrestleMania, a show that didn't really look that good in the build-up. But this turned out to be a really good show. At the Survivor Series, we've seen the return of Sting, or the debut of Sting, however you want to look at it. And I think this show is one of the best shows in the last, over the last few years, WrestleMania had definitely took a nosedive in the late 2000s, or late 2010s, early 2010s, whatever you want to call it, This was a really good show. You had Triple H versus Sting, John Cena versus Rusev. You had a ladder match for the IC title. And then, in the main event, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank, winning the WWE Championship. I thought that was awesome. You also had Randy Orton versus Rollins, and a fantastic Hall of Fame ceremony with the Macho Man, Diesel, Rikishi, the Bushwhackers. This was a really good WrestleMania. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt was okay. Next up, we have Extreme Rules 2015, and that's why I hate all these eco cases. They're so flimsy and floppy, they just all fall over. They won't even stand up on their own. Decent event. This was Rollins' first defending the first pay-per-view defending the title. I'm all getting my words jumbled up here. Disc art, okay. But they incorporate all the matches in the cover art here. You got a steel cage, the Russian chain match, and Big Show versus Reigns. So people really didn't want to see Reigns in the main event. And we would see Kane getting involved in a lot of Seth Rollins matchups. But here, he's turning on Rollins. Kane was the gatekeeper. We had a Chicago street fight, Kiss Me Arse match, really good tag title match, the Russian chain match, last man standing match, and the steel cage match with the RKO band and Kane as the gatekeeper. Then we had Payback 2015. I absolutely love this cover. We got our 4 participants, The Shield and Randy Orton, which we've seen a brief Shield reunion. I remember people going nuts for this, watching a lot of reviews and things like that back then. I love the orange and the gold and the black and the white. Logo, disc art, not so good, but I feel like Payback and Battleground are... I'm glad 2 of those pay-per-views are gone. And the spine is actually pretty cool too. But this is the Seth Rollins Championship reign. We would see Cena and Rusev battle it out some more. Ryback versus Luke Harper, it looks like. Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. Decent event. Payback was never one of the best shows. Money in the Bank 2015. Dean Ambrose on the cover. And the disc art. This was an okay event. We were now continuing the Rollins-Ambrose feud that went through most of 2014. And now they're battling over the WWE title. We had the awesome matches between Cena and Owens around this time. They also had a great match at Elimination Chamber. Sheamus would win the Money in the Bank. Nikki Bella versus Paige. Ryback versus The Big Show. And they had a ladder match for the WWE title. Really good match. Battleground 2015. I remember watching this live. This was a really good show. Pretty underrated, actually. I love this cover. I love the Undertaker's symbol there. You know, really simple and basic, but I think it pops out quite well. You got Undertaker on the spine there. And see, that could have been the cover as well. More simple is better, I think. But I think they did it justice. Here we also had Kevin Owens and John Cena again. We got Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. They had a pretty good feud going. And Lesnar and Seth Rollins in the really good match. Undertaker interferes. And here we would see the debuts of Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. Just, I think, a week or 2 before this. With the whole PCB and things like that. Bad and Blonde. They came up with some of the worst tag team names around this time. SummerSlam 2015. Really good pay-per-view. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit as well. Championship match was decent. I don't think they needed whatever his name was there interfering. This is a 2-disc set. Love that artwork with the Brooklyn Bridge there. Taker, Brock Lesnar. So this was the whole rematch. Too big for WrestleMania. Again, we got PCB versus Bella versus Team Bad. Reigns and Ambrose versus Wyatt and Harper. And then Rollins versus Cena with the US and WWE titles on the line. We got the New Day winning their second tag titles, and this would be their record-breaking tag team title run. Although that can be disputed because this is a totally different championship. That was the original WWE World Tag Titles. These are the WWE Tag Team Championships that were introduced in 2002. We also had Neville and Stephen Amell versus Stardust and King Barrett. So this SummerSlam had a lot going on. Seth Rollins emerged as a double champion with the spoiler cover. And then Night of Champions 2015. We had a lot of good pay-per-view covers in this time. Sting's second pay-per-view appearance and his last. Pretty cool disc card as well. So we would have Sting versus Rollins for the WWE title, and Cena versus Rollins for the US title. Looks like we had Kevin Owens versus Ryback, Nikki Bella versus Charlotte. Oh, and the Dudley Boys were back around this time as well. So, decent event. It was sad to see the state of Sting and how his career ended. After he took that second buckle bomb, he just collapsed, and I was freaking out watching that. I thought he was gonna, pass out or something. Hell in a Cell 2015. I think this might be one of the better pay-per-views of the year, apart from WrestleMania. Lesnar and Undertaker going at it again inside Hell in a Cell. Really good cell match. They tore the cell apart and the ring apart. And one of the best cell matches of the PG era. We also had the return of Del Rio facing John Cena for the US title. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. I liked their feud. I thought it could have been a bit better, but it was decent for this time. And we also had Rollins versus Kane. So, pretty good show overall. And then Survivor Series 15. This would be the 25 years of the Dead Man. I thought this was a mediocre match between Taker, Kane, and the Wyatt family. I think it could have been a lot better overall. Seth Rollins did get injured in Germany or something like that. Had to vacate the title. He destroyed his knee trying to powerbomb Kane. And they had to vacate the title. So we had a little tournament here. The finals of the tournament would take place during this night. We had, I believe, Del Rio versus Ambrose, Reigns versus Owens, and it came down to Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Reigns wins the title. Sheamus cashes in. He's the new WWE champion. It felt like a lot during this time. Triple H was just aligning with everyone and anyone. From 2013 with Randy Orton, 2014 with Rollins, and now 2015 with Sheamus. We went through a lot of that with Triple H and the Authority. We also had Charlotte and Paige for the Divas title. Decent event overall. I was disappointed with the 25 years of Dead Man. Finally, TLC 2015, Sheamus and Roman Reigns in a TLC match for the WWE title. Spoiler cover. I thought this could have been the cover here. Highlight your championship match. We got a Dudley Boys card. Well, we had Reigns and I think Sheamus in a very good TLC match. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose face off for the IC title. They would have a great match at the Rumble 2016. Awesome triple threat tag team match in a ladder match. They also had an Elimination Chamber tag title match and an Elimination Chamber IC title match earlier in May. We had the the Wyatt family here. Braun Strowman did make his debut, I believe, around Battleground or Night of Champions. It sucks doing these collection videos because a lot of these don't have the, match listings. Might have been Night of Champions or Battleground. Because remember, around Payback, they did, where was that? SummerSlam, I think. Yeah, so it was Night of Champions where Strowman debuted, or somewhere around that time. And he made his main roster debut. Strowman came in with a ton of bricks as a 6-man tag. So there we have it, guys, the 2015 collection. Let me know your thoughts on this one. If some of your favorite pay-per-views from the year, some of your favorite moments and matches. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.